Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Monday, Mafia Monday. Let's get into our story. We're going scene by scene through all three novels that I wrote, the Los Angeles Syndicate series, the first book, California Gangsters. We're just about to start chapter 8. We're following our main character, Simon Castro. So let's get into it. Set your mood right. I got Mr. Snubby loaded, of course. The unloaded gun's a useless gun. I'm rocking the Cholo hat. You know, the Mexican cats out in LA used to wear these when I was younger, and I always thought they looked cool. But when I wear one, it doesn't look so cool. Maybe my head's not the right shape. To me, it looks like an old lady hat. I feel like I'd be like an old lady from the 1930s wearing a hat like this. But let's get into it. Chapter 8. Opportunities arise. I was talking to Jennifer on the phone each night while she was overseas filming a small movie. She would tell me about London and the interesting places around Europe that the studio was sending her to. I looked forward to her call each day like it was Christmas. Nothing would stop me from sitting by the phone in a state of readiness to grab her nightly call. She called me one Sunday around 4 a.m. and I was fast asleep. But I answered the phone on the first ring, springing up like a bolt of lightning. I was groggy, and she had to say my name a few times before I snapped out of my sleep-confused state to even realize what was going on. Jennifer said, "Simon, wake up, it's me. Hey, Simon, it's Jennifer. Wake up, you sleepyhead." I replied with a scratchy voice, "Yes, I'm awake. Sorry, sweetie. I was asleep. How are you? Are you okay?" She laughed and said, "Yes, I'm wonderful. I'm meeting all sorts of very powerful people in the industry. I've been to so many places so far, and we're shooting in Switzerland next week. I'll be going skiing in the Alps. Can you believe it?" I rubbed the sleep out of my eyes as I sat up in bed and replied, "I'm happy for you, sweetie. I'm doing fine. You know, the same old shit every day. I miss you like crazy, babe. It hasn't been the same around here without you." She said bluntly, "So, did you find another girlfriend while I was gone?" And I replied, "No, I'm waiting for you to return. Did some European fruitcake sweep you off your feet? Do I gotta come out there and take care of anyone?" Jennifer's laugh was like music to my ears, and she said, "Oh my God, Simon. The men here are all skinny fairies who wear tighter jeans than me. They wear sandals and carry these shoulder bags that look like purses." I roared with laughter at the description and replied, "So it's safe to say that you're all mine?" Jennifer said, "Of course, silly. I will prove it to you when I come home. Hey, did I tell you that I have another movie lined up already? And maybe a regular role, even though it's a small one, in a TV show. This is really happening. I'm going to be a star, and it's all thanks to you." I replied, "Babe, I'm proud of you. All I did was set the ball in motion with a couple phone calls. You deserve this. Be safe. And if you need anything, please just let me know. I'm only a phone call away." She said, "Simon, thank you again for everything. I'm glad I got to hear your lovely, deep voice. I really do miss you, and I will call you tomorrow. We're flying to Greece." I replied in the dumbest way possible, not on purpose, of course. I always seem to find a way of putting my foot in my mouth when it comes to talking to women. I've never had any sort of gift of gab with the opposite sex. I replied right before we both hung up, "I love you, Jennifer." There was a long, uncomfortable pause after I fired off that last shot. I heard nothing on the other end but static and the line crackling. I figured she hung up on me. I said to myself, "You big dummy. Why did you say that?" As I held the receiver down to my chest, ready to hang up, I heard a voice on the other end saying my name. Jennifer said, "Simon, Simon, can you hear me? Are you there? I love you too." My heart literally skipped a beat hearing her reply. I put the phone to my ear and said, "Yes, I'm here. I thought you hung up on me." She said, "No, the connection must be going out. I'm in the hotel lobby. I love you, Simon. I have to go now. Goodbye." After we hung up, I sat on my bed in the dark looking out of my giant floor-to-ceiling windows of my apartment, down onto the dim city lights of Beverly Hills with my heart racing as fast as a John Bonham drum solo. I leaped out of my bed to my feet and went over to the window. I opened them up and yelled out to the top of my lungs so the entire west side of Los Angeles and all the beach cities could hear me. My voice echoed through the streets. She loves me! That whole week, I was on cloud nine, happy as a clam. People were telling me that I was a different person, happier and more social. Uncle Frank and the guys each mentioned it when I was at the bar one night socializing. Frank came over, sitting down next to me with a drink in his hand, and said, "It's like you're shooting rainbows out your fucking ass, kid. I don't like this side of you. It's like you're about to sprout wings and fly off. What the fuck is wrong with you lately?" I laughed and replied, "I talked to Jennifer Wilson the other night. She said that she loved me. Can you believe it? A woman like her, she loves me, Frank." My Uncle Frank looked at me and held my arm to steady his drunken legs, being on his third glass of whiskey, and he said, "What did you say to her? Did you tell her that you loved her also?" I looked down and replied, "Yes, of course I did. I was the first one who said it." Frank burst into laughter, along with all the other maid guys at the bar who were listening in on our conversation. Frank replied to me, "You said it first, you fucking pussy." The room exploded in laughter at my expense for longer than I liked. I said to my uncle, "Fuck you guys. Shut up. I'm going to ask her to marry me when she gets back. I think she's the one, Frank." My Uncle Frank was still laughing with the guys, making various jokes about the size of my vagina. I'm sure they could hear the guys roaring it up all the way down the block. Frank finally turned to me and said, "Seriously, good for you, kid. Don't mind our jokes. We're all happy for you. Happy that you ain't a fag. You know, some of us were starting to wonder about you." I got angry, and I said, "Anyone in this room who calls me that word is dead. I ain't no faggot." Frank was in a good mood and pretended to hit me in the stomach with a short jab. He said, "Lighten up, kid. Don't kill me. I heard how you like to strangle innocent little store clerks." The whole bar exploded in laughter again at my expense, as everyone was already worked up with Frank's comedy routine. One of the guys yelled out, "No witnesses, right, Simon?" I asked Frank, "How did you hear about that?" Frank put his hand on my back. Frank put his hand on the back of my neck and replied, "Santino from Santa Monica called me tonight. I should not have to hear from him that you were involved with the revenge hit of one of their associates. You stay out of their business from now on. You let those guys do their own work, capiche?" I didn't want to argue my case to Frank on this at all. I simply nodded and said, "Sorry, Frank, it won't happen again." Frank smiled and yelled over to the bartender. He said, "Give us some shots. My nephew is in love. We need to celebrate. Shots for everyone." The music seemed to get louder as the drinks began to fly from behind the bar like frisbees. Frank put "Pretty Woman" by Roy Orbison on the jukebox. Cigar smoke and ruckus laughter filled the room. The West Side Mob, they sure did know how to throw a party. That's why I love my Uncle Frank. He was the only cool Castro in the Castro family. No matter how rich he was or what his last name might have been, Frank was just one of the guys. The other bosses kept a distance from their soldiers, making themselves feel untouchable. Not Frank. He was a true old school LA gangster. All right, let's stop there and we'll continue on with chapter 8 next Monday. Thanks for watching.